Hey guys, what's going on? This is Pants or Dragon, and today we'll be doing a little video on GRAGAS patch 6.3. As you know, he's gotten some buffs lately, and he's starting to appear again in solo queue, as he's been, well, not the greatest jungler since, he was nerfed. I mean, his win rate was roaming around 46%, so that's kind of an indication of how weak he was. But even though he got buffed this patch, there's more reasons why he's actually back in the jungle again. And so this video will talk about why he's kind of back and give you a little guide and tutorial on how to play him. Anyways, with all that being said, let's get started. Alright, so the nerfs he had received to him were in patch 5.12 and 5.17, and in patch 5.12 is where I stopped using him, and people were still using him in the LCS, so they actually nerfed him more. In patch 5.17, that's when people stopped using him all over. But in this recent patch, they put back his slow back to 2 seconds, and now his W, it does AoE damage, plus the channel time is only 0.75 seconds. So now his clears are really good. But to GRAGAS, he was actually indirectly buffed in 6.1 because of the release of the Runic Echoes, as Runic Echoes is a very powerful item right now. Also, the statistic you saw earlier, people were still buying Cinderhawk, so a lot of people weren't buying Runic Echoes, and the win rate is probably a little bit higher. Now you're probably wondering, why is Runic Echoes such a good item on GRAGAS? Well, there are several reasons why Runic Echoes is good on GRAGAS. First off, his base movement speed is 345. That's a really high base movement speed for a champion, as Pantheon's and Master Yi's is 355, so having 10% movement speed with the Runic Echoes, that's going to give GRAGAS a lot of hidden power. Second off, GRAGAS has really good AP ratios. His full combo has about a 2.2 AP ratio, so that's pretty good, especially if you're meant to be a tank. It also gives him mana sustain, so he doesn't have to be too conservative about mana. And yeah, he just has a lot of damage in the early game now, especially now he's building a little bit of AP. He can do like 80% damage to someone if he's just soloing someone with his full combo. So yeah, his early game is just incredibly strong. But of course you do want to go tank after Runic Echoes because, well, AP GRAGAS falls off really hard, unlike tank GRAGAS where you're basically a tank. And also, now that he has his 2 second slowback, good luck getting out of ganks because, well, that shit lasts a long time. And also, since you're building a little damage in the early game, your clears are going to be really good. So yeah, early AP GRAGAS, really strong right now. Expect to see him in the LCS a lot now, and somewhere in solo queue in the near future, you'll probably see a lot more GRAGAS too. Now finally, you're probably wondering about the build. So masteries, I go 12-0-18. A lot of masteries do have pretty good synergy with GRAGAS, and this is also the basic standard page for junglers. As for runes, I go 15% attack speed, 9 armor in yellows, all CDR blues, 1 quint of cooldown reduction, and 2 AP quints. You'll see later on the build we get 40% CDR. But you're probably wondering, why do you get 15% attack speed when you go like hybrid pen or like magic penetration? So the reason we go 50% attack speed is because we want to optimize our clears and pressure in the early game. And myself, I actually didn't like going 50% attack speed until I realized GRAGAS's base attack speed is 0.651. The average attack speed is 0.625, so you can see there's a pretty big difference in that aspect. Plus you probably won't mind autoing a few times in ganks, right? And next up is going to be the item build. So this is very similar to my AP Udyr build. We just build kind of damagey in the early and mid game, and then we're going to look for a tanky GRAGAS in the mid game and late game. I'd only go Lichbane if you're like 5-0-5 or something like that, just to have some fun, but you're risking yourself for that late game. Abyssal can also be good if no one else is buying it. It's a very cheap item to obtain right now. And yeah, Banshees or Frozen Heart if you need more resist. And Solari is very situational, as most supports will be getting this item instead. For skill order, you want to start W, and then you start maxing out your Q, then W, then E. Oh yeah, and don't forget your R. Always got to prioritize that first. Alright, so now I'm going to be giving you some tips for GRAGAS and playing him. So tip number 1, go for ganks a lot in the early game. You are a super CC heavy jungler with a gap closer. Ooh. So your ganks are really strong. If you're farming a lot in the jungle and you're not ganking as much, you're playing GRAGAS kind of wrong. So yeah, just have a ganking mindset because you're very strong in the early game. Tip number 2, use your R to disengage if needed. Remember, your ultimate can be used offensively or defensively. Ideally, of course, you want to hit people towards you if you're trying to engage, or try and split up the team fight. Next tip, you can actually combo your E into R easily. You can even put a W or a Q in between, but the knockup coming from his E is like 1 second, so they can't flash out of your R, and you should always be able to hit it. And yeah, that is it for tips and, well, this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Here are some of the comments from my last video where I asked, what's your favorite keystone mastery? And you guys are so fucking sweet. You picked me as your favorite keystone. Oh man, you guys flatter me and making me blush. But for this video, I want you guys to comment below on your thoughts on Runic Echo's GRAGAS. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's eh? Or do you think it's Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, if you did like this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you didn't, make sure to leave a dislike. And also subscribe for more future videos like this. And I am Panto Dragon, and I'll see you guys next time.
5 a.m. cold sweats waking up to the sky.